I am a 31-year-old woman who has been estranged from my sister for the past 10 years. The rift between us began when I discovered that she had been having an affair with my ex-boyfriend. I had been in a relationship with my ex from the age of 15 to 20, and at the time of the affair, my sister was 19. The affair likely started shortly after my sister turned 18. While we were together, my ex proposed to me, and my sister, rather than warning me or being supportive, encouraged me to accept his proposal. She did this with the ulterior motive of ensuring he would be nearby so they could continue their affair. After I accepted his proposal, my sister revealed to me a few months later that she was pregnant with his child. This revelation shattered me. I felt completely betrayed and expressed my disgust towards her. I told her I could never forgive her for her actions. I also confided in our parents about what had happened, leading to a complete breakdown of my sister's relationship with the family at that point. The only time I saw my sister again was about a year after her first child was born. She reached out to me, expressing that she missed me and wanted her daughter to know her aunt. However, I stood firm in my decision, stating that it was impossible for me to rebuild any relationship with her, and I reiterated that I would never forgive her. I requested that she not contact me again. In the years that followed, my parents and extended family distanced themselves from my sister when she began dating my ex seriously. Eventually, they resumed contact after she broke up with him, primarily because of her children. I understood their choice to support her for the sake of the grandkids, but it didn't change my feelings towards her. Recently, my parents informed me that my sister had been living just 20 minutes away for the past 2 years. They had chosen not to tell me until now out of respect for my feelings. My sister had moved out of state for a job, but recently lost it. Her landlord had given her a 60-day notice to vacate the property. With no job and lacking a support network in the area, she turned to my parents for help, asking them to reach out to me. My parents believed I should assist my sister by helping her find job opportunities and potentially a new rental before her time ran out. I firmly refused to help her, stating that I would never do anything for her again. They pleaded with me to reconsider, urging me to think about her children. I responded by expressing my deep resentment towards my sister. I made it clear that her actions, being the affair partner and encouraging me to get engaged to someone who was cheating on me, were inexcusable. I pointed out that her choice to stay with my ex long enough to have another child showed her lack of care for me. My parents tried to guilt me into helping her, but I reiterated my position. I did not hate my sister, but I could not overlook what she had done. I also felt that it was inappropriate for them to pressure me into a relationship with someone who had caused me so much pain. Now, I find myself conflicted about my decision, especially since it was close to my birthday. 5 of my friends invited me out to celebrate, and I agreed. We went to a steakhouse that I suggested. While we were there, Mike, one of my friends, started drinking and chatting about appetizers, and I mentioned I wasn't really into them but would try one. After we ordered our meals and drinks, Adam decided to order a bottle of champagne, despite me suggesting it wasn't necessary. As the evening progressed, an incident occurred when Mike started arguing with a nearby table after thinking they threw a French fry at him. I tried to explain that he must have dropped it, but he stood up, swearing at the other table, which had a toddler present who looked quite shocked. I intervened, telling Mike to sit down, but he pushed me instead, insisting he was provoked. Eventually, the waiter came over, noting that complaints had been made about us. Mike continued to drink, and Adam argued with the waiter, trying to deflect blame. The waiter then informed us that we needed to settle our bill and leave within a few minutes. When I offered to help pay, Adam turned to me and said, "You're the birthday man, right?" In this situation, the narrator recounts a troubling experience that unfolded during a birthday celebration. Initially, the narrator believed they were being invited out as a birthday treat, only to be surprised when Adam, one of the friends, insisted that the narrator was the one who chose the restaurant. As the night progressed, the atmosphere became tense. When Adam and the others began to leave, the narrator expressed concern about the possibility of being pranked. Adam's dismissive response and the subsequent departure of the group left the narrator feeling abandoned and anxious. Despite the narrator's attempts to explain the situation to the waiter, they were met with indifference and informed that they were responsible for the bill, which was substantial. This left the narrator feeling upset and financially strained, especially since most of their money was now gone. When the narrator reached out to their friends afterward, hoping for understanding or support, they were met with a dismissive attitude. Their friends seemed to brush off the incident, leading the narrator to feel isolated and disregarded. The narrator's insistence that the friends reimburse them went unanswered, with several responses implying that the matter was settled and they should simply move on. As a result, the narrator stopped communicating with the group. They received messages from friends mocking them for being upset, which further deepened their feelings of betrayal and confusion. The narrator reflected on whether their assumption about the birthday celebration being a gift was misguided, ultimately concluding that their friends had not treated them fairly. In a parallel story, another person shared their experiences regarding wealth and friendships. This individual, a 25-year-old woman, grew up in a privileged household, but maintained a frugal lifestyle, opting for thrifted clothing and modest living. Her life took a turn when a friend's wife discovered her financial background while taking a private work call in their home office. This intrusion led to a dramatic shift in how her friends perceived her. The friend's wife disclosed the narrator's wealth to the rest of the group, sparking jealousy and anger among them. The narrator's frugality was misconstrued as deception, with friends demanding transparency about her finances and even making requests for financial assistance, such as a $50,000 loan to cover student debt. Feeling violated by the invasion of privacy and the entitlement of her friends, the narrator decided to cut ties with the group. She expressed that her financial situation was personal and none of their business. Despite her husband's support, the friends' reactions, especially the demands for money, left her feeling isolated. She reflected on the disappointment of discovering how quickly people could turn against her upon learning about her wealth. Ultimately, both narratives underscore the challenges of navigating friendships when financial dynamics change unexpectedly. They highlight the importance of surrounding oneself with people who respect personal boundaries and privacy, and the realization that true friendships should not hinge on financial contributions or perceived social status. In the first situation, a person expresses their frustrations regarding their girlfriend, who struggled to complete college due to its difficulties. Despite her attempts over several years, she ultimately decided to drop out, and her boyfriend offered to support her, hoping to give her a fulfilling life where she could pursue hobbies. Although he values education, he has come to accept that happiness doesn't always stem from traditional paths, especially as he is now working as an engineer and providing for them both. However, tensions arise when they are out with friends, and his girlfriend refers to herself as a stay-at-home mom, claiming it to be the hardest job in the world. This claim confuses him since they do not have children, only a dog, and he finds it troubling that she equates taking care of a pet and managing household chores with the significant responsibilities of motherhood. He confronts her about this, feeling unappreciated for his hard work and long hours. He struggles to reconcile her perception of her role with the reality of his demanding job, where he puts in 50 hours a week. Their conversation escalates into a heated argument. He points out that if she finds cooking and cleaning so taxing, she could return to school or get a job. This remark intensifies their conflict, leading her to accuse him of being ungrateful. Friends weigh in, suggesting that he's being taken advantage of and warning him about the potential complications if they were to have children. They express concern that she might not fully understand the challenges he faces and fear that her perspective is unrealistic, especially if life were to become more complicated. In the second scenario, a mother recounts hosting a sleepover for her tween son and 4 of his friends. To treat them, she purchased donuts for breakfast, thinking it would be a fun and special occasion. She typically provides healthier options, but felt that a sleepover warranted a departure from routine. One of the boys later told his mother about the donuts, prompting her to send a harsh message on Facebook, criticizing the mother for potentially causing her child to become obese. The mother feels unfairly judged and attempts to explain her intentions, but ends up being blocked. She reflects on the nature of sleepovers, recognizing that they are often a time for indulgence and fun, where kids can enjoy treats they might not have otherwise. She believes the other mother's extreme reaction could lead to unhealthy relationships with food, either by creating an all-or-nothing mentality or by fostering paranoia about weight. Overall, she feels she acted appropriately for the occasion, but is left confused and frustrated by the other mother's harsh criticism.